because I think as I was watching your video of like how to man like a leftist with Noah, I was like, I think I was disappointed at the end because I felt like I'd watched the entire thing and it felt like it was a video that was for everybody but men. And I remember thinking in this video titled How to Man, there was probably 12 seconds where you said something that fulfilled that criteria of like, here is how to do a thing. And so I'm wondering if how to get girls is the wrong question, because I agree with where you're coming from there.
This one, like, does the left have like any advice to offer cis-het men in the way of how to get girls or, you know, how to be a man? Like,
in my opinion, isn't necessarily the type of advice that's going to get you to where you're trying to go. You're alienated in your workplace on a constant daily basis. You're denied power, you're denied respect, denied dignity. And then you go home, and if you're married, you're denied like dignity and respect as a patriarch because you're not able to live up to those ideals. Your children hate you because they don't see you. Like you turn into a bottle just to find some type of way to narcose yourself so you can get back at it the next day. I agree, life is shit. There's a way out of this thing though. Like there's a way to get around it. There's a way to remedy it, but it's not finding a way to subjugate another people, whether it's black people or women in this case, because you're trying to go and like fuck everything and move, because it's your way of trying to redistribute power back to yourself. And I'm trying to tell you that you're not going to get it.
It's a red flag.
You coming for the queen?
no, Badu is amazing.
She is magical.
Badu, Lord.
She is magical.
Man.
She picks exceptional baby daddies. She's very good at that.
And she never leaves them the same. Like them niggas are irrevocably like changed after that.
It's an
Like
improvement.
they're never
It's
the
always an
same.
improvement. Pussy to fix your life up.
Man,
I mean, like,
unless we talking about musically, because them niggas just stopped releasing music after they started fucking with Badu. But you know, had
Because
they
they
get
was
their life together.
satisfied.
Andre,
They was at peace.
Common,
They was at peace after
they
that.
found the Holy Grail.
Pussy put him to sleep. Jay Electronica hasn't released. She got him too early. Like she got him before he went on, and he was like, "I'm good. I don't even need a career. I'm good. I've got everything that I need."
What is music? Like,
I don't need, yeah, exactly.
Rhymes.
They signed him, and he was just like, "Oh, you know, no, I'm tuned into a different frequency now." All right, let's get into the podcast. Welcome everybody to Waving the Red Flag, the #1 dating and musical mating podcast in the universe. It's your boy Eddy. It's Josh, joined today by the illustrious foreign man in a foreign land. Welcome to the pod.
illustrious. I ain't get that one for. Yes, big up yourself. My big and be them woman them and man them. Big up yourself, foreign. Yet again for a second time by popular demand. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
Demanded popularly.
Demanding popular.
You know what I'm saying? Like I told my gal, I was just like, yeah, man, I going to talk to them niggas again. It said them red niggas. I was like, yeah, them red niggas. Like, just like.
But see, we're not the red ones. We identify the red flags. I mean, occasionally we wave them, but for the most part, we're
And
identifying.
like, she's just like, she fucked with the last episode. Like she been like y'all been killing with the consistency. Like big y'all up. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how y'all be doing it. I'm just like, God damn, like them fellas just to be churning out content.
Hey,
like
man,
I'm all like,
you know what I'm saying? It's just what can I
hit
say?
after hit.
We're great and perfect and have no flaws, and we're very good. That's all I can say. Yeah, just speak
Which
the
is
truth.
why you should follow.
We're amazing.
I'm not for that
We're
humble
amazing.
shit. Yeah, like yeah, I'm not for that humble shit. Yeah,
that's
like
dishonesty. While
like
I'm
pop your
alive,
shit.
Come on.
Being humble is like 2022, nigga. In 2023, nah, we gotta let these
We're
niggas
not
know.
doing that. Nah.
We gotta
Speaking
let-
life
Let them
into
know.
ourselves in
Let them know.
2023.
Steal your flowers.
Yes.
Like take them shits.
Exactly.
Like, 'cause, yeah.
Snatch them bitches
Steal your
out the
flowers.
bouquet. Give me my money.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Shit's good.
And yeah, no, same to you, man. Because like I said, like numbers, fandom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, you got enough fans that you get many canceled sometimes. Like that's when you know you really made it. That when you get a little bit
I don't know
of
if I-
accountability.
I don't even know, like, if I want to, like, I don't know how far you want to get after, like, you watch, like, Unk video, FD's last video,
What do you say?
Broke Bread. Oh, man, if you ain't watched that one was, yeah, like, that shit made me go to sleep after. Like, it made me mad to the point where I had to go to sleep.
Okay.
Like, you ever watch something, like, that you just, like, damn, like, that shit is so good. And it's different, like, when you consumer versus, like, when you also creating. So, like, Unk is just, like, my baseline for a lot of ways. Like, so when he put out something, I'd be like, all right, like, let me go watch this nigga shit. Let me watch him. And then like I'm watching it, I'm just like, damn, that shit good. He's spitting. And then like it hits to another point. This video is probably like his best one like ever. Really? And it's about like how he got canceled, and it's about like how like we fight, like we fiend for drama, and like we're in the drama cycle and we perpetuate drama. And like I don't want to spoil too much, but
well, I was gonna
the
say,
synopsis.
Yeah, could you give the cliff notes of like make it as exciting as you can? Like he did this, then this happened, then he said, or whatever.
So he brings, basically the best way I could put it is like he brings, it's like Spider-Man, the last one where all of like these villains came back. Basically like he brought back all of these people that were canceled. He brought back friggin' Professor Flowers, who was canceled for black nationalism. He brought back DJ Mule, who was canceled for being an abused apologist. He brought back like Lindsay Ellis. I don't know if like you ever heard of her, but like she's one of the biggest. She basically pioneered like the video essay sphere. Like she's a white girl. She talked about Avatar, The Last Airbender. So he brought back all of these people that were canceled, and basically we're discussing like how cancellation doesn't necessarily mean accountability, does not mean remedying whatever they did in order to be canceled. And a lot of the time, the cancellation takes on another life itself. Like the things that you're canceled about isn't even as important as the cancellation itself. And just how much of like a scolding industry we are, like we look for things to cancel people over. And like he talked about how he got canceled, and spoiler, how that put him in the hospital for a panic attack.
Spoiler shit.
And like,
we'll put it.
Yeah, no, like I didn't even read like, and this is like, I talk with Uncle on a regular basis. So like, he didn't even tell me about this shit. He didn't tell nobody about this shit because he was putting that in the video. And like, he legit had a panic attack while he was conducting interviews, and like he had to go to the hospital and all that shit. All engendered from all of this drama that he was going through over the past couple of months, where people were really coming at him. Like the left community, like the online left be coming for him heavy.
What did he do? Or what did they say he did? Or what like stuff are we talking about?
You have a subsect of the left, people that you don't want to talk about necessarily because their minions will come and infiltrate your channel. And like since you're still building essentially too, you don't want them on there because they could really mess some shit up, especially when you just climbing. But like they could like basically fill your comments up and like make it basically uninhabitable by like anybody else. But like basically they like accuse him of being a Nazi. That's like the most recent shit.
Against Jewish
like
people?
Legit like call man and us. I don't even know they legit said like Nazi, like the term Nazi.
Like Nazi is like a metaphor these days. So did they mean literally like were they accusing him of anti-Semitism or just like general Nazi type vibes?
I can't even. I feel like they must be talking about like a black Nazi, like a Nazi. I don't even know. Okay. I don't know how they got there. But like that's the point. Like it's supposed to be absurd. Yeah. Like it's supposed to be crazy shit. But like it makes sense to them. And like this is just like one of like a litany of things that like they talk about. Like his takes are normally taken out of context. It's been said that he's a black nationalist sympathizer, or like black nationalism is the bad part. Like they talking about like they try to equate black nationalism with white nationalism, which isn't the case. Of course, we all know like black nationalism, like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, that is not the same as the fella that shoot up the damn church, shoot up a school, kill. It ain't the same thing. It ain't the same thing.
Not to put my Hotep hat back on, but like, what's the problem? Like, what's the problem?
No, for real. For real. Like, if we could get there, like, the whole point about, like, a Pan-African movement and, like, a pilgrimage back to Africa because of living with your colonizers and how austerely violent of a space that is, and therefore black people just wanting to live in community with themselves so that they don't have to deal with microaggressions and aggressions on a regular basis. That is basically black nationalism, the self-determination of a people that have been oppressed. Yeah. It's a totally different experience
than doesn't require exile of people. Like it's not the same thing. And low key like white, like, cause saying then this does get a little bit tricky, but I was thinking about like when the Irish want their nation to be their nation. I don't think that's inherently super fucked up unless they're trying to like exile brown people. But if they're going, we want our nation to be our nation, I don't think that's crazy. But what do you think?
No, so like that's the myth of whiteness. Like whiteness as a concept is a political concept used to
Exactly, yeah.
Like categorize other people as a means to uphold them over another class of people. But whiteness. Whiteness is, there's no white culture. That's not a thing. Like there's Irish people, there's German people,
Swedish,
there's all of that. But white as a culture isn't a real thing. It's primarily and almost in its totality a political weapon used to subjugate people that are not white. They basically saying, okay, by virtue of your hue, you are allotted resources. Therefore, this one cannot. Like it's basically the same thing. So yeah, like Irish, definitely they have some real grievances. Like the potato famine, all of that shit. Like they definitely have some real grievances. And that's the sad part about white supremacy is that it deprives white people of their actual culture. It denies them their culture. So whiteness,
white hotep shit now.
Yeah, essentially, like whiteness basically needs
hurts
to
everybody. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
White people are the real victims of white supremacy.
It's basically the patriarchy.
Okay. Yeah, same with patriarchy. Patriarchy hurts men too. Like patriarchy has no gender. Like white basically having to live up to this.
I see.
Okay. Patriarchy has no gender. Low key sounds like a bar for patriarchy. If I was a patriarch, I'd be like, yo, patriarchy ain't got no gender, baby.
It's for everybody. Anybody can argue. Like, it's fine. You can be at the top too if you want to, baby girl. Like, patriarchy has no. But that's also low key true because I feel like that's the way it gets marketed of like, the girl boss shit of like, bitches can be niggas too. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to, you can oppress people too. Like, if you want to, you can do that.
Yeah.
Patriarchy has no gender. Just, you can. We need more women billionaires. We need more women who own sweatshops, and then everything will be good.
We need more Rihannas. Like I got a video coming on that shit too. Anyway, like femininity as a means of patriarchy, basically, and talking about like how a lot of this femininity talk is essentially, it's essentially just parroting patriarchy. Like patriarchy hijacked femininity.
Are you a woman?
No, for real.
That's misogynistic.
You can't do shit around Eddy, boy. I tell you.
Eddy will find, bro. Eddy will catch that shit. Like I'm telling you, like nothing safe around Eddy. Nothing safe.
No, but you're right. But that is just a funny concept.
Are you a woman? Bet you ain't know you was misogynistic too.
Where's Alvin when you need him? Yeah. Like that nigga is keep everything sane.
Than being one. That's a wild concept that you. I mean,
it's a wild take, but guess what? Like someone out there making it right now, and it ain't only us. I'm telling you, like.
Yeah. No, I mean, all right. Let's get into some little topicals.
God damn, this always happens when I'm on the pod. Like, God damn. I be like derailing. I be derailing conversation, bro.
That's not. You can't derail a conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant to go on one track. You know what I mean? It's an open field. It's branches.
We just playing soccer.
Your journey. You're frolicking. Black boy.
I'm frolicking.
You're frolicking. You're just
man,
you're frolicking.
I love that word.
Because see, they try and put you in this binary, masculine. Oh, you got to go here. You got to go here. You know what I'm saying? Be free. You know what I'm saying? Embrace the full spectrum of your.
I like that.
Of your spirit, wherever it may take
you. Let me frolic. Let me frolic then.
So where would you like to frolic? Do you see anything that caught your eye on here?
I like these. I ain't gonna lie. Like I like these questions like a lot. Like you, some of the only niggas that like actually send me questions. And like this one, like does the left have like any advice to offer cis-het men in the way of how to get girls or how to be a man? Like off the cuff off of this video. So I'm interested
that was 100%
to hear what
in response. That question was straight in response to you because I watched your whole video and it was directly in response to that.
All right, so what you think? You got some hot takes for me? I feel like you had some scathing remarks, like a scathing review.
I don't want to start with the scathe. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, because we've only done 2 performances together. I don't want, because I can be scathed too quick, and I'm like, I want us to build a relationship.
I love that shit.
Just straight boxing. You know what I mean?
Man, that ain't good for content. Come out.
That's true.
What do I think?
Fuck you, like, just immediately. How's it going?
Well, shit. Now that you mention it, nigga, I do have. A problem
like, I hated that shit. I hated that. Like, I mean, like, so, like, that video is doing really well. That was supposed to be my break video, actually. Like, that was supposed to be my way of taking a break.
Oh, I see.
I spit it off the dome. Like, I haven't said this publicly anywhere, but like, I did like absolutely no research for that video. I like just off the dome.
You just like us. We never researched shit.
Me and Noah Sampson, like, we just was like riffing. Like, we like looked at like some misogynist TikToks, and we just like, all right, what you got? Like, and it turned out to be a good video. And essentially it just rotates back to this point about like all dating advice being shit. Like, that's kind of what I wanted to get away. Like, if I wanted a couple things to be left with the audience, all dating advice is shit. These niggas are peddling patriarchy in the form of courses. They don't really care about if you get your dick wet or not.
Okay.
That's one part. And not only that, but like treating women, and this is to the men, treating women like human beings will get you more engagement. If I want to talk in that term, engagement, than anything that whatever assortment and arrangement of words can ever do. Like, whatever riz that you can accumulate, however much Dior Sauvage you could adorn yourself with, whatever much Gucci you could wear, like, none of that beats being able to treat someone like a human being. And it sounds trite and prosaic. It sounds like something that you would get like on a Hallmark card, but at the same time, like, I could get into like some like tangible ways of like in like success things that I've used to engage with women. But I don't think that would necessarily, I didn't think that would be the type of video that on the left we need to be making, because the right seems like it's very preoccupied with trying to take away, especially femme presenting people's autonomy. So that's the reason why you get like Andrew Tate's and Jordan Peterson's talking about different ways in which how to 10x your masculinity so that you could be attractive to these women. They're talking about trying to game them. They're trying to like hack the system, hack women, so like you could like basically resonate with them on a molecular level so that they can't deny you some pheromone shit or something like that. And like the whole point is you're not going to get that from us because we are the side of the political spectrum that is mostly about empathy. We're mostly about autonomy. We're mostly about respect for people's rights and whatnot. And to give advice that is about trying to circumvent someone's autonomy, to psychologically trick them into liking me, that would be counterproductive. It would just be like a contrast. It would not make any sense. And that's why you don't have it on the left.
Yeah, okay, so with as much kind of like tact and nuance, I'm gonna start by saying to most of that, cap.
Stop the cap. Cap on that up. What you got?
I think the idea that like treating others as human beings or with empathy is like a surefire or even useful way to like get your dick wet or whatever is one, untrue, but two, even if it were true, is backwards.
All right.
Like,
keep on
cooking. I don't think it actually works.
Shit,
One, I don't think it actually works.
Treating people like a human being does not work.
If you're for the goal of getting your dick wet.
Okay, so before
it's not a tool for seduction. You know what I'm saying?
So before we even get any further right there, then that premise alone in itself has to be interrogated. Because if your only concern is getting your dick wet, then you're divorcing the autonomy from whatever you're trying to get your dick wet with.
I don't disagree, yeah.
So like if you want to get your dick wet, like there's sex work, Like a lot of sex work that you could patronize.
We know it's not the same thing. And then also we can't.
I agree. I understand. As someone that like enjoys that.
Offload insane, dangerous niggas on the sex workers. Like you can't just be like,
absolutely.
Oh, that's so
absolutely.
Because then it makes this weird divide as if like women who are sex workers aren't also still just women. You know what I mean? Like they're still
So also so there's that part, or there are basically arrangements that you could reach with other people to get exactly what you're looking for. So if you try and get your dick wet, they like someone trying to wet some dick. Yeah, like that exists, and that also does not mean it's not mutually exclusive that you can't treat them like a human being. Like
I agree. That's
So just talk. So I've gotten success with this before. Like, sorry, Josh, go ahead. I was talking.
Yeah. And I think to clarify a little bit, like Eddie's not saying like you don't treat women like humanely or properly, but it's more so it's just like when you like kind of just when you're operating under the game or like just the art of seduction, there ain't a chapter in there that's just like treat her like the queen that you know she is and put her on a pedestal. Like that's not that. To get you, but like that's what a lot of guys might take that as. It's like because sometimes like we make the mistake of treating someone like they're better than us or like they're above us just because like we think. I'll speak for myself because they just look like I don't know about that one, buddy.
Yeah, I want to clarify because maybe what I said might have come across different than what I meant, so I'll say it again. But you finish your thing.
I mean that was it because I think like sometimes when we hear like treat women nicely, you're sometimes guys will get into the habit or the mindset of putting someone on a pedestal and like treating them like they're actually better than you are in a sense.
That's not exact. Like what I'm getting at is the reason that you treat women like people is because they are, not because it's a good way to get laid. Because it actually it isn't necessarily. Like I mean, not to get like maybe I'm going too past where what I'm talking about, but like. Especially when women are socialized in patriarchy anyway, like sometimes that can shoot you in the foot. Like being like, no, I don't want to engage in this, like I'm patriarchal man, you're patriarchal woman, to like, that can turn people off. That's not a reason to not do it. So do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
like empathy is not a seduction method. That's what I'm saying.
The seduction method is the problem. Like, why am I trying to seduce you?
No, but see what it seems like you're implying is that the best way for you to get dates or engage or whatever is to treat women like people. And I'm saying, one, that's not why you treat women like people, and two, that also doesn't actually work by itself. That's like nice guy logic, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's not a reason to do it. And even if it were, I'm also arguing that it doesn't even, because you can be the most empathetic, treat everybody right, engage with women through the full depth of their, intellect and emotion and all that shit, and still be a corny ass ugly nigga. That doesn't, the fact that someone goes, yeah, they ain't get, like, me being treated like a person by another human being doesn't make me go, I want to fuck them. That's a almost unrelated, separate thing. For sure. You have to also be attractive. And I feel like we're when we have these takes that are like, oh, just stop being misogynistic. It's like, one, that shouldn't be the motivation for why you stop being misogynistic, to get pussy. That's crazy. I stop being a misogynist so I can get pussy is crazy. But then two, that doesn't even work. Like, not being a misogynist doesn't make people go, oh, this guy's, I want to fuck him. It's like, no, being attractive does that, and we can have a conversation about that. And I'm refusing to. That's what I meant by cap.
Okay, I like 75% agree with that for real. And like that should not be the motivation to shelve your bigotry or anything like that. I also do think that you underestimate how much misogyny is unattractive to femmes and femme-presenting folks. And they can tell when you are,
I don't think it's what you think it is.
I honestly think that and this is coming from in my experience.
As a, like, pound for pound, who do you think fucks more? Like, if you had like a bar chart or like a line graph of like how misogynistic a man gets versus how promiscuous he is, how related do you think those two things are? I would be willing to bet that as one goes up, the other goes up across a lot of cases.
So you think more misogynists are able to have sex more.
Yeah.
With women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that justifies misogyny, which is what I think the red pill niggas try and sell. But that's my point.
Right.
Because it doesn't take empathy to fuck somebody. It doesn't take empathy to be attracted to someone. Like, none of that is required. Like, how many people have been married for 20 years and realize their husband doesn't even see them as anything close to a human being? They're not related. Like, and I think we want them to be related because we want to sell this like consent is sex. It's like consent is not sexy. Consent is mandatory. It's not why are we trying to repackage it as a like, this is how you get the sex is by being good. It's like those things. That's not. I don't think that actually reflects in reality. I
like that. Yeah,
it sounds like if we admit that misogynistic men have lots of sex, it seems like we're saying misogynistic men are good, and I'm saying those premises don't lead to that conclusion.
Right. No. I feel that. I understand where you're coming from with it. I think that like just like the motivation. No. The motivations behind it, I think like it might be in the branches. The motivations behind it, like we're still on the premise of getting your dick wet. We're still in the premise of like how to procure more sex. And I'm saying that basically these are preoccupations that are not necessarily things that men on the left or mass presented folks on the left are extremely preoccupied with.
Sure. No, that's a separate point, which I'm happy to get. But I think that's a separate of like.
Yeah.
What the thing that I was disagreeing with is what is the relationship between empathy and treating people as whole human beings and engagement, as you put it. Then the separate question of like, is this even a priority that leftist video essayists like yourself should even be prioritizing at all as a thing to talk about? Which is, I think, separate, but I also maybe disagree there, but for different reasons.
Yeah, because It's interesting that like the type of complaints and like the clamoring that you hear about like we aren't getting enough sex as men isn't coming from the left. Like you're not hearing that from our side. Like you're more so hearing that from the conservative side.
Do you think so?
And I think empathy makes you a better lover and therefore gets you more sex. I think that like a lot of that works. So like
so less of a problem for people who embrace leftist thinking, that's less of like being an incel is less of a concern for those people. So it's less of a thing to be remedied. Is that the idea?
Yeah, like I think like a lot of like people on the left, like we having like lots of sex. We busting lots of nuts over here. I ain't gonna lie. Like it's a lot of nuts being bust over here. And like and the reason for that being, like of course, like in not to say like people in polyamorous arrangements are having more sex, but the freedom that is allowed. And the type of discourse, the type of conversation that is allowed on the left leads to more, or at least should engender a more free type of assortment and communication between the different sexes and genders. So like, I feel like femmes may feel more comfortable on the left and being able to engage with mass presenting folks and men on the left, and therefore are having a lot of sex on the left. Whereas conservatives, historically, they can't have sex. They don't know how to have sex. Their sex is very regressive, boring.
Who is that?
What is a clitoris? Is that a band?
I had a little cousin named Clitoris. What's he doing around here?
Like they like Ben Shapiro ain't busting nuts out there. Like his wife definitely ain't busting no nuts out there. No. Like we know that, and like
step it up.
So yeah, like I mean, and I think that like that's something like on the left you just have a lot more because you care about your partner a lot more. Like I care about my partner.
I think the thing that I'm is that seems very dichotomous in a way that I don't think makes sense. Like we can just divide all human beings into the right and the left. That doesn't seem That doesn't seem like it describes actual on the street in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like people walking around doing their jobs, going to work in relationships. That doesn't seem like a accurately descriptive division of like there's niggas that's right and then there's niggas that's left. And there's women that's left and there's women that's right and the left is good at fucking and the right is bad at fucking and that describes everybody.
Okay, yeah, no, I get what you mean. No. I mean, I agree. I think that like you can boil down if you need to boil down people into categories. I mean, this is the problem with liberalism. If you go from a political scientist standpoint, liberalism is where it all went to shit because we basically prepackaged all of these ideologies. People didn't have to basically say what they believe. They could just say, okay, I am this. Therefore, I mean, a label.
And I find that it's like, here are all the things that I believe instead of going like prescriptively from label down. It's like, here are the things that I believe. And then where does that fall on the matrix? I think is a better way of going about it than saying, I'm this.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. Like, so I agree. Like, I mean, like, there isn't these binaries. I mean, like, we're trying to fight binaries. So like, it would be very funny and ironic for us to be all like, yeah, there's a left and there's a right and there's nothing else. But I think that you can begin to like see the type of belief systems and principles that people have and then ascribe that to, get them for the purpose of conversation. Sure. Yeah, you could place them and try to figure out, okay, like, so this fella has particular interests, has particular beliefs. He got a Nazi flag up in there. He probably isn't on the left.
Might be right-handed.
Might be a little bit on that kick, yeah. So like, and it wouldn't be surprising, like, and if you have any type of engagement with any type of femmes and women in general, then like, if you perform good with women, like if you are a conscious lover and like you're trying to make sure that you're the person that you're having sex with as a man, like if you're trying to make sure that they having fun, they taken care of and things like that, the gals could tell that to their friends too. And they friends could be all like, oh,
Yeah.
And that sound bad, right? That sound bad. Like, but it shouldn't necessarily be about that.
Toxic porn.
that shouldn't be that.
Planning the pussy. That's crazy.
But listen. But like, in a very like the bottom of the barrel of the left. But no, like, I mean, if you're really talking about it, like, if you're single and everything like that, and like as a bachelor, because like this is the problem with hookup culture a lot, because like you would have like a lot of reports where women are saying that they are not satisfied by the sex positivity of hookup culture. They're saying that, listen, we're out here, we're being hoes, and we still ain't getting, what Josh say, Eddie, I need you to please unmute me.
He was quiet for a second. Did you mute that time?
How you mute Josh?
No,
I didn't do that. He's censored Josh.
Hey, don't put that
bro,
on me. Don't put the.
That's crazy. I was trying to figure out. I was like, bro, I know Josh had some. I knew Josh had some things. I was just like, damn, Josh.
Bro, you better drop these charges against me. You better clear my name right now.
No,
damn.
I'm just fucking around. I'm kind of sick. I had to cough, and I had to put myself on mute while I was coughing. And
Josh, what you gotta say? I forget what I said.
You've been thinking so.
No, I mean, you're 100% correct, because women do talk about the dick they got. If it's gonna be like a little fast casual dick, like they love talking about fast casual
Chili's,
dick.
Applebee's type dick, Olive Garden
absolutely,
dick. Yeah.
and that's the best way to get more.
Get your name out there.
Boom, boom. Yeah, get your name out there.
Get your name out there, bro.
Referrals.
That Yelp ad.
That's why some of the biggest known male hoes.
I don't think that's. Are y'all getting referral pussy?
Yes, bro. What? Lord of His mercy.
I don't.
What?
One, I may very well be terrible at sex. That's a possibility. Or maybe I'm so good that they want to save it for themselves. Who knows? But also,
I like that.
But also, hey, look, whatever I need to believe about me, I'm gonna figure out a way to get there.
It's like, listen, I'm not gonna feel bad here. I'm not going to sleep bad myself.
Yeah, no, you didn't come. Your pussy's broken. It couldn't possibly be my inadequacy and badness as a lover.
Oh shit.
But I also just don't think I'm not like fucking within a friend circle. Like I'm not kind of getting ran through. I'm not in the same circle.
I'm not getting ran through.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Like, that's not. I've never done that.
That's not necessarily.
Eddie ain't for the street. Nah, man, this is small.
Cities,
Oh my Lord, it was mercy. Like, listen, like, but they be talking, and like, I think fellas don't realize, like, in order to get more sex, be good at sex. That's one part. And it sounds kind of man, Eddie. What? You don't think so?
How could you disagree with that in order to get more sex?
Jesus Christ, Eddie. You was a contrarian.
No, I'm sorry.
Actually foreign.
Actually foreign.
Facts over feelings. No, bro. I don't know. I feel like we're telling ourselves stories, man. It is so many niggas out here fucking and are terrible. Don't know where a clitoris is, don't know how to grind, don't know how to fuck, and there's still fucking plenty. Because I think and there are plenty of people who, how much are you getting referral sex? How much are people going, you fuck someone well, and then they referred another woman to you for sex? I'm not saying that never happens, but I feel like we're playing this pretend game where attractiveness doesn't exist. Like, I feel like we're in this conversation. It feels like we're refusing to engage with attractiveness.
No. But I think that like the conversation. I think this is fun. I mean, but like as far as like the productiveness of the conversation, it probably wouldn't necessarily be in the actual like these niggas aren't getting bread. Like, because like the whole point is just like just because you getting bread does not mean that is like as a metric that isn't satisfaction. Like satisfaction on anybody's behalf. Like the fact that like you are getting sex does not mean that you are having good sex. Yeah. And and like you are probably like devaluing the sex to yourself and also creating a bad experience. So like it's fun to like talk about it, but like I think like ultimately like it isn't, and that's why I go back to saying like as a preoccupation, I think that like a lot of people, it would be irresponsible of me to, if I had made the video and said, okay, basically, like, take them, got it wrong, this is how you actually get women. I think that would be irresponsible of me for a couple of reasons. Okay. But mostly, if I want to say, like, I'm being empathetic towards the men, it's mostly because I don't think that that's going to solve the problem for you. I don't think that that's what you really want. Like, you were saying, like, how do I get laid more, And I don't necessarily think that. Like, I think that you're trying to find more satisfaction, and that satisfaction might not come in the form of what you think it looks like to be this alpha male, to get like a bunch of women falling at your feet, texting you like, that's what is promoted as a desirable position to be a man. Any man that's actually had that more times than not knows that is not a satisfaction. Like it's not a very satisfactory feeling. Like it doesn't feel good to have like a bunch. It helps sometimes. It's a very in my experience,
but it's definitely a side.
Yeah, no. So like I've had that because like I grew up fat and I grew up like undesirable to me. I grew up where I felt like I was unworthy of affection, and I had my phase of which like I like was just like, okay, I'm gonna get my shit back in blood. Like I went to the gym, I did all the self-improvement stuff. I watched Alpha M, like I did, like I was in the gym, I was getting all of the Your Sauvage, I got like 1 million colognes in there. Yeah. Ultimately, like I got that. Like I was able to do that. Like I was able to perform the patriarchy well. I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with it.
Really just the patriarchy though? I mean,
what you mean?
I feel like it's getting like just so broad to damn near you can't do shit without it being inherently like wrong.
Like hold on.
Like, goddamn, nigga said I bettered myself. I got into the gym. I started smelling good, and this nigga said, "But I was doing the patriarchy." I'm like, God damn.
He's coming back. Yeah, fuck. I'm trying. Yeah, because I wanna have a productive conversation, but I see what he's saying. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
y'all niggas. I had to get my charger. What? Listen, no. What I'm talking about, right? Like this is my man bag. Like we need to it's a
satchel.
It's the man. He understands. Like I got teased relentlessly in college for my satchel. But guess what? All these like, you ever had a girl come up to you and go say, "That's a very nice satchel, man." Listen. Oh my Lord. Listen,
yes.
Oh, absolutely, bro. They love that shit. Now, that is another way. You know what? If we really want to have a productive conversation, let's go back to how can men actually, procure more women, start more conversations with women, women starting conversations with them, and the satchel. That's a great. What's it? A man having a nice satchel.
My fault. Sorry. I was trying to double dutch you. That's my fault. Sorry. I was trying way too aggressively. That's the question that I'm asking as well. But I think the point that Foreign is making is this even a worthwhile line of conversation? So I think maybe we should start there because I think that's where I see where he's coming from, but I maybe because what he's saying is teaching men who are finding themselves unable to find sexual partners how to do so is not useful or productive in a way that he thinks that people on the left would want to even prioritize. Is that a fair summation of where you're coming from? And so I'm like, and I kind of get what he's saying, because it's like if you don't have the moving parts that I think video essayists or people like Foreign are trying to get moving for you as a man, if you don't have that empathy, that capacity to see others as human being, that emotional intelligence about your own feelings, being able to question the gender roles that you view about how, if you don't have those things, do we really want you out here fucking like that? Do we really want you out here able to get women into relationships? And so, is that a proper summation of where you're
I wasn't even going there yet, but that's a logical conclusion. You're right. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Because that's looking at it from their set, from fem's perspective, like as a tangible threat. But it's also from like the man's perspective, because like the whole criticism that I started with the premise of the video with is just like men are not given, like the left doesn't care about giving men advice. And that's why like I wanted it to be very men-centric, which is kind of dangerous on the left to talk about, because like, you know, we talk about everybody else.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. And it should. And like the thing is, like if you're really being for real, like it should be very man-centric, because if there's going to be a lot of change coming from the left, it's probably going to come from like people that are like have the patriarchy.
Like people are in pain and depression, and like all these things are very explainable. Like people know what the cause of it is, but you have like morons taking the reins of like giving them medicine for what their pain is, and it's stupid as fuck, the advice that they're getting. And it's like, and we know why you feel isolated. We know why you feel like you're getting the short end of the stick, because you've been sold an idea of what it is to be a man, and you're not getting that back because that was never a good or healthy model of what it was to be a man. But no one who knows that is giving advice. So it's like, of course.
I wanted to more so, and this is like the subtext of that video is essentially like the type of things that the right is preoccupied with are fundamentally gone about a totally different way on the left, or at least it's supposed to, because like you do have like a lot of people on the left, or like a lot of conservative thinking people cosplaying as leftists on the left, but the type of thing that like we're trying to address, like men, what are they really asking for? Like that's what I'm like, kind of probably a logical progression. So what are they really asking for? Like disenfranchisement that you're talking about, the alienation, the lie, the dream that they've been sold, and they're very frustrated with not being able to attain the things that they're supposed to get, the privileges. Like you always hear like the white privilege. It's like, hey, I'm poor. Where's my white privilege? And I'm like, I agree. Where is it? Like I agree. Like, and that's why you should divest in it, because like you're not getting it. And that's basically what I'm saying.
These rich white people really don't give a fuck about you. You should, like, why are you so invested in, or let me not blame you, but you shouldn't be so invested in whiteness, because it's not really paying dividends like how it used to. It's not really hitting like it used to. And I think the same thing is true for traditional masculinity. It's not really hitting like it used to, and you're mad at the wrong thing. Like,
whiteness
you were sold a bad product.
Whiteness fell off in a grand way, like honestly. Like I mean, like, and it's sucks for them.
No more.
And that's the point. So, and instead of like looking at that as white folks and basically saying, oh, let me get some class solidarity. I'm a poor white guy. Let me like actually organize with this black fella, this Latino fella, like all of this, right? Instead of doing that, they go the next way, and it's just like, okay, I'm not getting white privilege, so it's still fuck them niggas. Like it's just like, and at the end of the day, that's the problem. So the same thing for just men in general. Like they're talking about like the left isn't giving us the type of advice we want. And you're right, because the advice you want, honestly, in my opinion, isn't necessarily the type of advice that's going to get you to where you're trying to go. You're alienated in your workplace. You're on a constant daily basis. You're denied power, you're denied respect, denied dignity. And then you go home and if you're married, you're denied like dignity and respect as a patriarch because you're not able to live up to those ideals. Mm-hmm. Your children hate you because they don't see you. And like, listen, like you turn into a bottle just to find some type of way to narcose yourself so you can get back at it the next day. I agree, life is shit. There's a way out of this thing though. Like there's a way to get around it. There's a way to remedy it, but it's not like finding a way to subjugate another people, whether it's black people or women in this case, because you're trying to go and like fuck everything and move. And like you're trying to figure out, okay, like what ways in which can I like have sex with as much as possible? Because it's your way of trying to redistribute power back to yourself. And I'm trying to tell you that you're not going to get it.
Okay,
you ain't going to get it from there. Yeah, we've been at this.
So I see where you're coming from with like the people on the left don't want to answer a how to get girls question because for many reasons it's not the right question. I still have some disagreement on, because in the video you said like the concept of getting girls was kind of inherently dehumanizing. I'm not sure I agree with that, but in terms of being productive convo-wise, I think I want to focus in on like, cool, that's the wrong question. It's not going to actually give men the things that they are actually wanting for, the things that they're actually painting and pining for emotionally. Mm-hmm. What will? Because I think as I was watching your video of like how to man like a leftist with Noah, I was like, I think I was disappointed at the end because I felt like I'd watched the entire thing and it felt like it was a video that was for everybody but men. It didn't feel like it was a video for me. It felt like it was a video that was there to point out that men man wrong, but not to men. It felt like it was for everybody else. And I remember thinking at the end of it, I went, in this video titled How to Man, there was probably 12 seconds where you said something that fulfilled that criteria of like, here is how to do a thing. And so I'm wondering if how to get girls is the wrong question, because I agree with where you're coming from there. Is there any, like we say, okay, well this is not how you get your emotional needs satisfied. Is there a conversation to be had on how you can? How do you get, like you articulated the problem very well. And articulated that like having lots of sex or subjugating women isn't the solution. Is there one? And if so, what is it? Or you know
and I appreciate that. Like, and I've seen like some commenters like in there basically saying, oh, you know, this is the problem with the left. Like this isn't about men. This isn't about men. Like you're not the only person that feels like that. And it's hard to cipher who's a troll or not. I know you're not a troll, so it's great to hear it from actually you rather than some anonymous guy that probably saw my video on Reddit. But no. So I took the approach of talking about the things that you should not do, and try to systematically address some of the issues in that as a means of a way forward. And then there is maybe a possibility if like there's enough demand for like a follow-up live stream or something like a Q&A where we could discuss some of these things, like some progressive ways to move forward. If there's enough demand for something like that. But essentially,
it feels like it's a lot of negative advice instead of positive advice. Here's what not to do, and I feel like no one can move forward. Like I don't think any man who
that's useful criticism.
I appreciate it, and thanks for it. And I like I said, I want to have a productive convo because I'm not trying to I'm thinking it's like men who are struggling to name the nature of their problem of like why they feel this way, why they're disconnected, and don't know what or who to blame. Lots of don't do this is like almost entire that can't set anybody on a path forward. If you just tell them all the things not to do.
I feel that.
Then they go, well, what does new masculinity look like? How do I get in touch with my emotions? Is that even the thing to do? Like, it gives them almost nothing. And then they just go, okay, cool, there's nothing for me here. I'm not saying this applies to everybody, but I think for the people that, like, all the people that you're looking at TikToks of them doing fuck shit, and the 13-year-old boys or 45-year-old divorcees who are confused about their pain, who are going, what do I do? They're going, oh, this ain't for me. This doesn't give me anything. And then they go to some nonsense. I don't think that we should be held accountable for them doing that, but
No, and that's fair. And I think that like so I can conjure up conjure up a couple like actionable tips. But ultimately, I think like the best answer is that I do not have that answer. Like I think like honestly,
I think we got to do more than that.
I think no. In this sense right here, like as far as just like what does new progressive masculinity look like? And that's just it. It's uncharted territory. We haven't done that yet.
Let's chart this hoe. Yes,
let's do it.
Like,
and we
if
doing
not
it.
You, then who? Like, yeah.
No. And we doing it. Like, it's a matter of like, I can't necessarily deliver it. Like, as far as just like a paragon of what that looks like and actionable steps and a criteria on boxes to tick off and say, okay, basically this is what it looks like. Because we're still forming that. The language for the things that we're trying to talk about is being made in real time. And it's exciting and also daunting, frustrating, and extremely optimistic at the same time. And like, what? Go ahead.
Well, it seems like there's a fear in what you're saying of putting it forward if it's not finished. Is there any of that? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm detective about, but not sure.
No. I ain't scared of it. It's a matter of we're still making it. We're still trying to find ways, because I'm not that. Like, as far as just like this progressive, like I'm not that. Like, in many ways, I fulfill patriarchal ideals.
What I mean there is like, can we beta test? Like, because it feels like you're saying, since we don't have it 100% figured out, we can't speak about it at all. Instead of going, here's some things that I have observed to be true that I think would help.
I see what you're talking about, yeah.
Like, here's one piece of advice. Here's two pieces of advice. Like, here's anything. Like, literally anything. Something more than zero would be wonderful. And it just feels like I don't know. It feels like there's some unspoken fear or something that I'm trying to understand. Why don't we want to say, hey, try therapy. Try this specific type of therapy, in fact. And it helped me in these specific ways. Try making connections. Join a meetup group. Just whatever. Like why don't we want to engage with anything that's like... I'm speaking too broadly. Why do some people have that resistance to going like, join a climbing group, do a bit of exercise, go for a walk, read this book? Like, why don't we want to...
Well, I have answers to that, but before, Josh, were you saying?
Oh, yeah, shit, sorry, man.
I was just about to say, I mean, like, ultimately, I agree with everything Eddy is saying, because, like, you just catch more flies with honey. As far as if you want to actually change a group, then you would do a lot better with actually giving them something positive to live up to versus just constantly beating them down and telling them, no, bad dog, this is what you don't do, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And it's like it's fucked up, because like one of the things about like the left audience is, even when your intentions are good and you try to give like a positive message for men that's uplifting to men, it's not even just to call them out, but people will just find fault and find a problem with anything you do. So, and that can be just very annoying, very tiring, and you want to be as safe as possible so you can appeal to as many people as possible and who have vastly different ideas, but the people that they have disagreements with are the very people that you need to talk to and to give like some positive affirmative messages to live up to help the whole world be better, is the same people that the people from the left will get pissed off at for seemingly giving empathy to this group that they ultimately need to change to better their own circumstances and the world at large.
I mean, that's fair. And I mean, like, I think that, like, so first, the part is important, like, as far as just, like, looking at the actual YouTube game of it and understanding that, like, the conversation that we're looking at right now, like, the conversation that you and Eddy are calling for, may not necessarily be a conversation that would be well received also with my audience. So, like, you have to also take into the account who is watching you, who's in the room and reading that room.
Sure.
And I mean, like, yeah, like, it is possible to talk to not only my audience, but also, like, maybe speak across, like, some tips and people over on the fence. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to speak.
Well, that's why we got you here. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, and that's exactly. So I think that honestly, spaces like these are a little bit more conducive, because I think that, like, y'all represent people that are a lot more on the fence. In fact, like at times, like on the next side of it. Because it's very easy. Like I said, like when I first like even heard about the podcast, I was just like, I don't know what these niggas about. Like I can't be sure. Like waving the red flag.
Because I was like,
yeah,
but from our thumbnails and things like that we looked like we looked different than what we were. Which
I could have very easily like thought, I could have easily thought like this was like another red pill waving the red flag. Like I could easily have like thought like, okay.
I think that's like half of that is maybe the Gonzo style that we've like adopted as you know, it's irreverent, it's comedy, it's loud, it's you know, high contrast. Say again.
It's ironic.
Yes, yeah.
It's ironic and it's rowdy and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's part of that, but I also think it's because, and this is a thing that both you and FD have talked about, is that we're for whatever reason, kind of refusing to create or craft or write out what a new model looks like of being able to be boisterous and do nigga shit, but not be harmful. And so it's like you're kind of, you asked yourself a question, I think in a previous podcast or on your own, of like, should I consider presenting myself as other than traditionally masculine in order to not confuse my message? And it's like that, and I think maybe the conclusion you came to is like no, like, and that's exactly the reason why. And so I think half of it is like it's not even like, oh, this looks like red pill niggas. It's just these are niggas on mics, so surely they must be the following. And I think that's half of the issue.
No, exactly. No, I mean, like, you're right. Like, you're addressing that in a way that it's very easy, like, to immediately see all of the cues and just, like, build up in the schema. Like, okay, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, like, yeah. But then, like, I think you're in a prime position to reach a group of people that neither I nor FD can reach. Like, you're in a position, both of y'all are in a position to speak to those men. And that's a pipeline also because, like, then you got conversations with me, and you got conversations with FD, and they go to us and like say, okay, like, you know, maybe this is like, you know, this Andrew Tate shit didn't get me nowhere. I feel terrible. My armpits stink. Let me actually, you know, like let me. I still smell. And guess what? Like I just watched a Waving Red podcast, and I feel good. Let me get more of that. I like this nigga who was talking, this nigga, this Malcolm Jawal Warner looking ass nigga, FDSignifire. Let me watch more of him. And then that goes down the rabbit hole. And there's a function for those type of things. Like Abba Preach is in hardcore conservatism. They are the gateway. They are the people in front of the door.
I kind of felt that on a lot of stuff. Because
yeah, man, Abba Preach. Yeah. Like, I mean, like they be saying like some turfy shit.
I don't think I hate them as much as I think some of the people that we've had on as guests do, and a lot of our fans do. But a lot of things I'm like, that's a little bit coded. That's a little bit coded. That's a little bit dog whistly, you know.
I can see that, but I can see that, but okay, so me as a person, I guess like where it's like difficult for me, and I guess even like my own image to like the audience or whatnot, where they be having me fucked up a lot of the times. It's like just because you might be able to agree or see where someone is coming from doesn't make you that thing like in its entirety.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. There's nuance.
Yeah, because I'm an extremely nuanced person. I'm a very gray person. Like shit with me is just not that black and white all the time. And that's like, and that could be like to, you know, my benefit and my detriment, because like I can look at both sides of the story and say, well, okay, well I see where you're coming from, and I see where you're coming from, and then like try to bridge that gap to hopefully like, you know, see where both of y'all are coming from, get y'all to have a conversation and talk and move forward, blah, blah, blah. But I guess what I've been preaching, just like Eddie said, like sometimes I be hearing some shit and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's a little weird. I can just leave that right where it's at, but you know, this other content over here is great. It's funny. Like you're not wrong, and plus it's entertaining.
Yeah, no, there's like. Yeah, no, there's like, there are dog whistles. Eddie's right. Like, there's like a lot of dog whistles. Like, the people that get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that are like transphobic, like see that shit, and they're just like, yeah.
Gender takes are like, okay, there's this undercurrent of like, people who don't fit this binary are weird. They're high maintenance. You know, feminism in general is going too far. Like, there's a lot of this kind of underlying rhetoric and a lot of their shit where I'm like, y'all are kind of lightweight tripping. But on other things,
lightweight tripping.
Seen a lot of those videos, I guess. Then I haven't. I haven't seen a lot of those types of videos. Not like So I mean, so it's gonna be a lot of shit I'm just missing on.
Yeah, it may very well be the case. But okay, so you make a good point. Maybe the reason that your how to man as a leftist video is mostly about the things not to do is because the audience that you're talking to maybe isn't those lost men so much.
A lot of the time, like when, like sometimes, and I have to figure this out sometimes too. Like if I'm not enjoying something fully, sometimes it's not meant for me. And it would be weird because like this is a video about how to man, so you would expect like that would be about like that, like the target audience would be men.
That's why I was like, I'm a nigga. Let's see
but
what
the whole
this is about.
But like you gotta look at the little context clues in there. Like you got me, you got Noah Sampson, you got Andrew Tate in the background with his head. A lot of people on the left, like that is like Andrew Tate is like a content farm at this point for people on the left because it's just so easy.
He's the new Donald Trump.
Yeah, essentially. And I mean, like it's really easy.
Source material.
Oh yeah, like between him and Jordan Peterson, like you could just create a whole career off of it, and people have. But like the point is, like with my audience, the type of thing that I'm pitching isn't like a tutorial. I'm not gonna be de-radicalizing men that are on the fence or over on the next side of the fence. Okay. That's not what that. Okay. I'm not in a position. I'm not primed for that. Yes. Like my video, like nobody, like them niggas that are watching that, like say, okay, like if this was a de-radicalization video, like they were like, okay, like what next? And then they're gonna go back into my catalog and they're gonna watch Gendering as a Luxury, or they're gonna watch like some other shit. Like no, because I'm not. That's not me.
Okay.
I'm so much further invested in it. So I'm saying that like, and that's fine because I have fellas like you who can very much serve that middleman, and like y'all could deal with them niggas. And I think that y'all are very much, and y'all are very much.
You gotta give a little bit more empathy.
No, because I'm saying.
That's final solution type language.
That's how deal with them niggas for me. I ain't got the patience for them.
Engage.
Yeah, no, for real.
The people we're talking about are children. You know what I'm saying? Like,
deal with them. Fuck them kids.
I ain't got patience for children like that either. I'm with you. I mean.
No. But optimistically, like I'm saying, like there are tears to this shit because, like, I mean, like I am not a cup of tea for a lot of these niggas, like that are very much deeply invested into the left, and like I'm a little bit too masculine for them. But you're saying that, like, basically, like, oh man, I'm not getting that, and I'm like, you're right because this is where this needs to happen right here. Yeah. So like, I know who I'm talking to. Yeah. Even the way how I'm speaking, like the vernacular that I'm using, is a different conversation. It's a different foreign that you get on my channel.
And I appreciate
you so many N-bombs over here, brother.
Oh my God, So like, and like a lot of people will feel uncomfortable. I would. Oh yes, very much scaring the whites energy. Very real nigga foreign, like you know what I'm saying. So like, I mean, like, and the whole point of that is just like, okay, because I know I'm not speaking to my audience. I know I'm not. And that's fine. Like you go to a different speaking engagement, you tailor the message differently. That's fine. That's not inauthentic. It's a matter of trying to. It's a matter of understanding who's in the room.
You're speaking to. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I'm glad you elaborated because people will not do the due diligence to actually think about what you just said. They'll just say, "Oh my God, he's not what I thought he was."
You just have to let him go. So, oh, he's fake. He be switching up. It's a matter of. Yeah.
This is all. There's bits. There's different parts of me. I'm many things, including each of these bits. And yeah, I mean, look, because obviously we have, when we have. Different guests on, we get influx of your listeners and things like that, which I also think is part of the conversation because I think the people who are watching your channel who are interested in the kind of conversation that you are having on this podcast, I think are necessary. I don't think it should be happening instantly. So I think the kinds of people that watch your stuff are the kinds of people that we want watching this stuff too, because
it's a feedback
with the comment section. It changes the whole. Everything. It holds us accountable in a different way. It changes of what the conversations are that are happening in our comment section, because it's like the ultimate goal is not just like how to help men man. It's like how to help, or there's lots of things that we're interested in, but like how to help men man in community with people who are not men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's beautiful way to put it.
You can't do that if it's
that would be the YouTube title if it would be like, you know, if it would work. That would be the YouTube title. Like how to man in a community with non-men or something like that, you know? Yeah. But I guess essentially, but you're right. Like, and I mean, like, I like, it's important that you understand like that feedback loop, because the same thing that I'm going to have over here, you would get when I post this video to like my community channel and people come up in here and they'd be all like, listen, I don't know what for, and you're platforming these bigots. Like these, like Eddy is awful. What the? No, they're not gonna say that.
What did you get from your last?
Oh no!
They said you fit.
Yeah, they ain't said
loved
that.
you last time. Yeah, they said you fit very well, which you did.
Yeah. I felt at home. Like honestly, like, and I mean, like the same thing FD said. Like before I even came on, FD said, "Man, I had so much fun." And like I was just like, yeah, like that looked like a lot of fun. And the people that are interested in this type of like thing, this like this triad quad between men talking, will probably be more receptive to it. There's going to be some people that's going to see this and they're going to be like, that is not my affair. I do not want to hear no 4-man talking about nothing.
Always quite, and you know, obviously I'm not in like the same space, or we're not in the same space as like FD, you, Khadijah. Like I don't know how
you kind of getting there. I'll be interested to see your analytics actually.
Yeah,
you probably got us in there.
I've looked at some of our like recent channels, and our audience is getting more like their common videos are shit, are FD and Khadijah and like T Noir and you and intellectual and stuff like that. So it's like it's going in that direction. But you know, we're lots of different things, so we have different audiences. But my experience, and I think Josh would actually disagree with me on this, but like I've been very pleasantly surprised at how welcoming I think people are to nuanced conversations that kind of push back at some of these ideas and are like, oh no, I really want to, like, I've seen so many comments that are like, oh, like I'm really glad to hear what men are thinking about this thing. Like I'm very curious, and this has been packaged in a way that's like, this isn't coming from hate, it's coming from like, here's what the experience is. And it feels like, I think the energy we always get is like, this sounds like me, this feels like me hanging out with me and my like male cousins. And I think that's kind of part of the energy that's being cultivated.
I don't disagree. Okay, I know.
You know why I say that.
Yeah, I know why you said that. But just to clarify, I don't disagree with the love that we get from like the audience. Like I'm very grateful for each and every single one of you, even the people that be like posting like some crazy shit. Like
even the disagreements have to like 90% of our disagreements. I'm like, they're so respectful. They're so like, here's why you're wrong. Here's why you're tripping. But like, it's convo. Like
for sure. Happy each and every single one of y'all are here. Only where Eddy got that from is like it's kind of like where I was going with the left thing, is because at a certain point you go so far, and it's like a danger of going so far in one direction where you become the very thing that you hate, just with opposite morals and values. You know what I mean? Like there's no opportunity for nuance, giving a person a fucking like chance to maybe see where they might be coming from, or trying to better understand what they were trying to say at the very least. Because we make a lot of raunchy jokes. Like the shit is, you know what I'm saying? Like it can get very raunchy very quickly. You know what I mean? And like everybody might not be in on the joke, and then it's just like, oh my god, I can't believe they started talking about dicks and pussies out of nowhere. Like I thought this podcast was so much more mature. It's like, no, we do all that, and that's like kind of
I mean, and like, and like it's important to like so like YouTube me is very different from like TikTok me, very different. That's also from true. Yeah. Twitter me. Very, very different crowds, and also very different forums. Like I mean, like man, look, like some people only get the TikTok me, and like they think I am like a total dumbass. They think that all I do is talk shit. They think I'm just like this lewd, very like someone went to my dad, like my actual dad, like because they expect me to do law, right? And like this lawyer that I interned in her office one time. And she was just like, oh, she's just like, I seen your son on this app, and he's talking about so many, like he's making lewd jokes, and my dad's just like, why are you telling me he's a 27-year-old man? Like, and like, but like that's, and he's just like, but I thought he wanted to do law, and like it's just like this, there's this dissonance that people have with being able to have like those two conversations at the same time. Like you can't be funny and boisterous, blasphemous, and all that, and also like spit something intellectual or nuanced. Like you can't. It's very difficult for a lot of people. Unfortunately,
that's the skill. Because FD and you both do it very exceptionally well. Yeah.
I like FD. FD is a lot more like he's very scholarly. Like he's a teacher, and like
he's more serious than you. But we got him. We got him cracking jokes.
Oh,
so you know,
on here, on here.
When he said she don't suck his dick at the end of the movie, that shit was amazing.
We got it. We got a proper performance authenticity. You know what I'm saying? Like Spielberg shit. Like
and that's valuable. Like that's the money shot.
Performer.
Yeah, man. Like that's the money. That's the money shot. Yeah, you know, because they ain't gonna get that on our channels. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a very useful liminal space between like a lot of different things
in both directions. I think it's a space to
absolutely. Like, and that's like what I want to drive home. That's what I want to drive home.
From like any I wasn't expecting for it to be like these kind of convos or like video essays or any of that shit. I was like. I like the 85 South show. Like, I just like, it's just raunchy niggas making jokes. But then from what we were talking about, we realized like, oh, there's a different environment. Cause then all of a sudden like the alpha niggas like popped up as like a dark enemy. You know what I mean? Like, so we weren't that, but I didn't, have the awareness of that when I first started doing the pod stuff and kind of asked Josh and Alvin to join. But so one thing that I guess, and we'll close soon, but
it's crazy. We had so many different things on the agenda. That's crazy.
Oh, it's a lot. Oh, we didn't get to nothing on the topic list because
except for that first one.
We got to the first one. But what I was going to say is, I think that there was the implication in your video, and I think I've seen somebody else say, which is that do creators like yourself have nothing to offer men? Do leftist creators or activists have nothing to offer men? And the implication that I get from a lot of people is that the purpose of the left, if you are a man or if you are white or if you are straight, is primarily to be an ally, and it doesn't have anything to offer you other than learning how to not be a piece of shit to other people. And I want to push back against that and say that I think that people like yourself, people like FD, people like we're having Finjamin on. Like,
that is excellent. Fan. That is excellent.
Fantastic.
He's from the Bahamas too, by the way.
He is.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that would fuck me all the way up if I heard him talking like you.
That would be crazy. That seems racist. He can't do that. That seems racial. I don't
know. He'll never talk like that, but he can. That's the point.
So he's really Toronto man's with it. He's really from the islands in Toronto type vibes.
He actually, I'm pretty sure that like he has been. He's been in the Bahamas. Shut the fuck up, bro. Like I can't say that. He's been in the Bahamas. Like Finn is. He got peoples in the Bahamas. I know his people.
What are you saying, fam? Sorry, I got like 3 phrases.
I can't stand Drake for that. Whenever you want to Drake slander, just let me know. But that'll be good. Like Finn, that'll be an excellent podcast.
But I think you all have so much to offer because there is so much pain and just lostness in men that's can be answered with this kind of deep analysis. Like when FD talks about the way his masculinity transformed and changed as he became a father, as he became part of a family, and the adjustments that needed to be made are like exactly the kinds of conversations that aren't really being offered, I think, anywhere else. So I think you have a lot to offer.
And basically I look at FD is weird, like, and I mean like not sentimentally, but like FD is like a future progression of me in a lot of ways. Like I talk to him on a regular basis and the parallels are very uncanny. And it's interesting to see the different values that different people get, because like when they can't necessarily like resonate with me or understand me because like I'm a lot younger than FD, they have an FD, and like when FD is getting too old.
Oh, I guess you're Gen Z, wouldn't you be?
Late millennial.
Just the cusp.
27, like on the cusp of it. I might be Gen Z.
I think you're a cusp. You're a quite young millennial or an old.
1995, and like it's that, and that's the point. Like So some people that might be feeling alienated in FD's audience because like, FD's got some boomer takes, like they in mind. And not only that, but then you got people like Turb. If you've ever seen you got people like Turb. Oh, Turb is great. And like if you ever want to talk to Turb, I think that'd be a great
I think because they were
He's him.
I did what you did to me to him. I said, I don't know, man. Red hair. Like,
you ain't got the hair no more. So like, you really giving him.
Am I him? Am I him vibes right now?
Like just like off the top. Like
thank you for welcoming me into the kingdom of masculinity, brother. I appreciate it. It's good to be here.
That's still. I had to do it to him. That was still one of the best stories ever. Like just between the first time interactions, niggas say, "Yo, what are your pronouns?" Oh, he him. What are yours? Bitch, what?
But here's my prediction with the pronoun shit. And this is, I think, what makes the most sense to me is like gender abolition type vibes. I don't fully understand what the fuck that word means, but from what I've heard, that makes the most, because I think that we are getting bogged down in a level of like linguistic
semantics
and semantics that is just not functionally going to work, because I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to fix a ridiculous system. Like our nouns have gender in them, which is insane. It's like, imagine if you had to decide people's race when you say you or them or refer. It would be so fucking difficult and granular every time you're trying to say anything about anything. If you had to, like, if you went, that house, and it's like, but you had to say that house, which is like a bit like a Negro, every time you tried to identify
that house in,
that house in, And I feel like that's what we're trying to do now. Of like, fuck, I have to, in order to identify a person, I have to have an understanding of their relationship internally to gender every time we talk. And I'm like, give it 20 years, everything will just be they, and we'll understand that like this was ridiculous that we were trying to gender everybody every time we talk about anything. I think I could see people saying maybe that's a problematic take, but I'm curious.
No, I think that we need some space to like have well-intentioned investigation of,
he don't like what I said.
Like,
he being diplomatic right now. What I do?
I am a diplomat son. So I mean, like I'm good with that. But like, I mean, no. I mean that. Like, I honestly mean like I'm not sure, but it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like that we're just investigating and experimenting with that, and we need to have space for that. Like, we need to be a little bit more forgiving when it comes to stuff like that, and not immediately like jump down like your throat like anytime like when you begin to question the type of progression that we're given. So no, we need space for that. I agree. Like, maybe in a decade from now, this will be a very messy footnote in history and like a transitionary period.
We already had like the Tumblr years that I feel like, because I'm in a lot of spaces where, every form that you fill out has, gender stuff. And I think that's happening more and more everywhere. But like, I'm in a space where that's everything. That you having a form that doesn't have like they, them, other, whatever isn't part of the spaces. And that always seemed a little bit reductive to me versus like what things felt like in like 2014 through like 2018, where people were trying to even figure out what neo-pronouns were going to be. And it feels like people have been like, all right, nigga, you could pick one of three. All right, like a meal deal. Like, all right, look, you can be him, you can be her, or you can be them. There's not you're not doing no jur or zim or any of that kind of stuff. That's what it feels like.
We got it. Any all they got that. Like, you should see my Discord. My Discord,
kind of thing. But it really feels
my
like
Discord got everything
down. That people go like, even with you go man, woman, NB them. You give the three options. You don't say other or any other kind of gender identity. Is go are you this? Are you this? Are you NB?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how we're settling. We're coalescing into that kind of. I don't know if it'll continue that way, but that's what it feels like.
Shit, who knows? Like, we in here for like, who knows if we even gonna be on this planet in a couple more years. So I mean, like this, it's just like this.
Here. Y'all so dramatic. We gonna be here. I mean, actually, you might not be. Now that I think about it, you in the middle of the
I
fucking
in the
ocean.
Bahamas. It's actually, nigga, you right though. Like
you actually should be afraid now that I think about it.
We might be in Atlantis, bro.
1 meter of yeah.
I live across from the beach, and that shit keep coming up. Like every time when I look at that shit, I'm just. That's how
I want to do one last topic because we're running like way past the time.
Oh my god!
I want to do this because I need to put this nigga's face in the thumbnail. So because it's relevant, and I'm watching the show right now. So
you about to put you? I ain't watched that yet. Is it good?
I haven't watched that.
I mean, it's not for everybody. It's like it's basically like Dexter plus like Gossip Girl essentially. So it's like serial killer shit plus like.
I watched the first one, but like I ain't watched the new season. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you see the show. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Crazy.
So I've just started this most recent season, but the news article is that Penn Badgley asked for no sex scenes and intimacy this season, and the reason he said that was because he wanted to maintain monogamy in his relationship. So what he said specifically was, it's really important to me. Fidelity in every relationship, and especially in my marriage, is important to me. It just got to a point where I don't want to do that. So he said, I'm not hanging dick no more. I'm not fucking these broads on camera no more. I'm a good Christian boy now. Me and my wife don't talk to us no more. Type vibe. And people are on either side of the fence on this. So I'm curious what y'all think.
Real quick. I mean, I don't even know if they really be grinding on camera.
They don't.
They don't be grinding on camera. Like
they
don't be grinding on camera. Except for Insecure. Like I feel like that Insecure scene, like them, they was sexing. I feel like they was
up in the club. He was in the club.
I feel really. Yeah, man. Like that's why I feel like
fucking.
In Insecure, like that's like the scenes I'm talking about. Like with
There's a few. Oh, the one with Lawrence.
The first one.
When he fucked her at the end of the thing, I was like, they both.
Oh no.
Naked.
I talking about like it was like the first scene, and like he was giving a box shots like. No, wasn't Issa? No. That's when Issa like walked in on him cheating or something like that, and like he was marching it down. Okay. Yeah, like
they be having cups. They be having like cups, like
of course,
cups. Like they be butt ass, but like it's not like
people. They're fucking. They're grinding. Contact. They're grinding and kissing and grabbing asses. Like it's not pretend. You can't fake that shit.
Yeah, but it's just exactly. They're doing all of that.
But on you, I ain't think that they sexing like that.
Yeah.
No man, they ain't really choosing like that, man. They ain't really.
I just sent you a link of part of that. Come on, bro. I gotta
open up an incognito browser on this shit.
No, open it up because I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, okay,
they ain't doing nothing there.
Let me see.
They ain't doing nothing. Ain't no penetration going on in there.
No, there's never any penetration. Okay, look at this.
Okay, that's what we talking about.
That's what.
No, but there's no penetration in anything. There's no penetration in Insecure. You think they was dicking people in Insecure?
No, man, they was marching it down. What you talking about? In Insecure,
you think his dick was inside somebody?
I know, bro.
Is that what mashing means in this situation?
Why do you have to say it like that, dog?
Bro, say it though. You gotta order it like you're at the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say.
Bro, this nigga's a menace to society, bro. Lawrence was given like some serious box shots, bro. Like that would hurt him. If he wasn't in that shit, that would hurt him. Cause like my man,
they have the dick flipped.
There was kickback.
Dick flipped up to where it's come on, man.
But you would see that. You would see that shit though.
It's movie magic. If you really think that he's got his dick inside somebody,
there's a lot of speculation that 3 straight men having on a nigga's dick right now. But anyway,
as straight as you can be, you know what I mean? But yeah, for instance, there's no way she's ass naked directly on top of him in this picture with the camera.
Who says she ass naked though? She got a bra on.
But her thigh, man. You come on.
Anyway,
if your girl was up on top of some, okay, yeah.
I mind that.
You do
because I know.
Don't you?
If a nigga like what the nigga that look like slavery name again?
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. Like
that's
if that nigga was
said that and I knew what you
right.
That's wild.
Whoever Jonathan Majors.
What are we doing? You said it like it was a normal.
That nigga looks like an encapsulation
slavery.
of chattel, like of chattel slavery. Like he has the face like He has, man, look. But yeah, like if a nigga like Jonathan.
I had a dream. He 100% has.
Oh, wow.
The problem of the Negro American is, he 100% has that type of face.
Guy up now.
You never seen.
He's Kang. He's Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, and then they was just lusting after him until they found out that he had a white girl. But anyway,
they still was lusting. They
were still lusting. They didn't even care.
The man's attractive.
They were saying that he's not. They were saying that he's not. Tick? Who's Tick?
Yeah, okay.
Say okay. But anyway, like if a nigga like Jonathan Majors was on top of my girl, I don't know. Like I'd be like, all right, nah. All right, relax.
She coming off set single. She's coming off set single, and I understand that.
I understand that. Honestly, it's Jonathan Majors. Like,
yeah, but people are getting mad at Penn Badgley for being like, oh, I don't want to do this. And I feel like part of it is because he's a man, and they're like, you should just man up and do these scenes.
Yeah.
And two, they're acting like he's being controlled by his wife, and I'm like. And there's a point that I made about like pornography and acting and all that kind of stuff is like you get to define what monogamy looks like to you, and grinding nearly ass naked with another human being of the gender that you're 100% okay to say this don't feel very monogamous to me. I don't want to do this. I love my wife. I would rather not be smushing skin with some other woman, even if it's part of my job or whatever. I don't want to do that shit. And the production crew, the intimacy coordinators, everybody on you, and kudos to them. We're like, yeah, cool, we got you, Penn. Like, this show is you. Like, you're the money maker of the show. We'll figure out a way to make it work. Because he didn't even come in on some, like, rah-rah, like, oh, I'm, y'all going to do what the fuck I say. He's like, look, I understand. I signed a contract. Is there something that we can do? And they were like, yeah, we can work with you. We can cut this intimacy down. We understand you're married. Like,
and, like, make no mistake, the reason why this is even news because, like, it allows them to project this progressive. It allows you to you the brand. It allows you the brand and like the company to basically because why is it? Because why is this even news? Like if they wanted to, if they didn't want to have like any sex scenes, they would just not have sex scenes. There's creative ways to basically they could just like do like old school like clothes fly up in the air and like they zoom in on the clothes. You would have never noticed. It's not it's not essential to the show itself. The reason why they're drawing attention to it is so that they could show, hey, we care about men's autonomy. Yes, we care about men's autonomy.
It worked on me. It worked on me. Hey, signal some virtue.
And it starts.
Cool. I don't mind.
It starts some conversation. Yeah, like I mean, like because now you're talking about a situation. It's the same way like how your boy never kissed no white women on camera. Denzel.
Zill?
Like yeah, like that's law at this point.
In the opposite direction, the way they did the bigger girl from Euphoria, I want to say Barbie Fiera, something like that.
Oh, I never watched her.
Ferriera. Well, she said, hey, look, they had all these like fat girl subplots for her, and she was like, I'm not trying to do all that, and they just wrote her out of the fucking show. So they didn't give her the Penn Badgley show.
That's just crazy.
They said, all right, said crash diet. We not having you no more.
We like, need that fat shit. We need that. We need some fat jokes.
Like, write me actual plot points.
Nah.
This, like,
we need some fat humor.
Outside of just being fat.
Yeah, and so I'm like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, you see how people get treated. They're like, nah, you got to get them titties out. Get the do this, do that, and it's like
I want to see some roles. Like
these are
like,
people.
The need for Sydney Sweeney.
Hey, I respect that.
They bent the knee for Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Oh, did she say I want to tuck the titties? And they said yeah, you can.
Yeah. Cause she.
Okay, well, good for her because they had her do it. It was gratuitous, like
for no damn reason. Like
like it didn't even make sense plot wise. Like why? Are you, this is the grocery store. Like why y'all got this lady titties out like this?
Right.
So yeah, no respect to her. If she said, hey, look, I don't want to do this no more, and they said like, all right, cool, we'll write around that. I think actors should always have that. I understand like it's the craft, and if you sign up for something, let's go. Look, you can't show up if you in porn and be like, hey, you know what? I don't think I want to do fucking anymore. Can we make some porn that's not, it's like, cool. There's a job you're signing up for, but there got to be some leeway and some coordination to.
And there's an argument.
I was just gonna ask, is there a respectful way to say a woman has nice breasts?
Shit. That's some nice breasts. That's some nice breasts.
I don't know, man.
Be careful.
I would never compliment a woman's breast. I always compliment a woman like on things that they're not normally complimented on. So like I'd be like, that's some nice ass calves. That's some nice thick calves you got.
You got some good ankles.
You got some nice little ankles.
I've never seen an ankle like that.
Shoulder blades sharp than a motherfucker.
You got some healthy ass calves, Where you used to be walking?
I know you was walking
away. Listen, I know you'd be joking.
When knowing damn well you thinking about them titties and how they can't perfectly cascade and just got that nice little tuck under the, you think about all that shit, but we just got to talk about her throat, how skinny her throat is, and how well it lead down into her shoulder blades and shit.
You got a long ass neck. Yeah, the nape.
Doing those British compliments, and the small of her back was like that of a babbling brook. I was, nigga, shut the fuck up. You mean that ass was fat? We know what you meant, sir. Come on.
Oh my god. But no, like.
Your neck.
But no, what I was
ridiculous, girl.
No, but like essentially, like the you thing, like it's essentially a market because there's a market for being able to position yourself in a way that like you seem to be a lot more progressive. And I mean, like, you can find creative ways to get around this. And also there's an argument to be made that the actor, whatever conditions engender a better performance out of the actor, that's the conditions that you want to offer as a studio, so if old boy didn't want to, if he didn't want to, gyrate on top of a woman, then basically it's in my interest not to do that because
he's gonna perform worse if you make him. Yeah,
exactly. Otherwise, let's find like a creative solution that is conducive to not only his own autonomy but like the betterment of the show. And who knows, it might even be like a lot more creative as like so
you could expand out. But yeah, I just feel like
everybody wins.
Like with that, I feel like sex is such a special, even simulated is such a special, delicate thing that I feel like you got to enter that with like a lot more patience for, if somebody say, hey, look, you got to hike up a mountain, and look, that's just what it is. Tom Cruise or Chris Hemsworth, that's just part of the thing. You need to suck it up. I think that's a lot different than saying like you need to suck it up and like grind against another naked body. I think we need more sensitivity for that type of shit.
Yeah,
I'm tired of sex in movies altogether. Go for it, Josh.
True. But I can imagine that would have been helpful to Emilia Clarke and what's the guy's name?
In Game of Thrones.
Jon Snow. Yeah, because they were like friends. Like they were actually like really cool, and they was discussing like how difficult that sex scene was to do.
And it was stupid too. It didn't even fucking make sense in the show. Like they shouldn't have even had it happen. Like
it didn't.
Like Power.
They didn't need to.
Like Power has like the most unnecessary sex scenes. Like the first season of Power,
Power be sexy. They be fucking on that show, boy.
I mean, like for real, like I was just
start going to
yeah. I don't know, man. The way they have
you really could
doing stuff is like, I
don't know, man. Like I've never been like aroused with it. I was just uncomfortable. Like, and I'm with like my own gal, and I'm all like, damn. Like, I mean, like I don't even want to see this right now. Like, if I'm not getting them right now, like I don't know why I'm watching this. Like, and I'm watching this with like,
it's getting too much. I don't like this.
Yeah, I don't like this shit. Like, and so like, why are we having sex inside movies? Like, I mean, like, I don't think that anybody really. I don't really think I've never. Like, yeah, like I'm just like, I don't.
Be crazy. No more sex in movies.
Yo,
I said,
we need to put this man in charge.
Can you imagine if Monsters Ball never happened? Or Swordfish?
So what the fuck is that? I never heard about this shit.
That's that movie with Hugh Jackman, right?
Nah, I mean, well, Halle Berry. That's what I'm really referring to.
Wait, but Swordfish, ain't that Hugh Jackman?
Halle Berry was in Swordfish, and that was when like she famously like revealed her breasts.
Oh yeah, unveiled.
And Monster Ball, I mean, like she was just straight up,
Josh is strictly a breast man. Like this man been talking about breasts from
he knows
jump.
Every movie that got titties in it. Josh
loves the entire anatomy of a woman because y'all are just
of course
gifts from God. I love everything.
Clavicles, spine,
from your hair follicles to your toes.
I'm about ass.
Like I think it's all beautiful.
I'm about
that's
ass.
the type of time I'm on.
We all about ass over here.
You need ass. Oh yeah, the ass is included in that too, my
ass is very. I think face is the
Nah.
No face.
Not even face.
Face is number one for me.
Man.
I mean, like even if she didn't have no face, like
okay, if she was just like Slender Man, just
cut that out, because
like a Last of Us mushroom face. You be like, yo, but that ass is. I could 100% see like foreign and like in The Last of Us, like after the virus gets to the Bahamas and he sees a girl with the mushroom face, but the ass is fat from before she got converted. He's like,
yo,
I think I'm in the mood for some mushrooms tonight, man. I don't know. This is looking kind of good.
Man, never got tough decisions.
What going, girl?
Asses and ass day.
I'm suing, bro.
Among us, girl.
Oh my God, I'm suing. Like, there's no way I'm not suing. Oh shit, punitive damages. Like, have to be like. Oh, God. But no, like the ass is essential. Like, yeah, like it don't even make sense. I'm sorry.
You heard it here first from a foreign man in a foreign land. The ass is
ass
essential.
Connoisseur. We could talk about ass all day.
A must have.
All day and all
must
night.
have.
An essential or necessary evil, the way you look at it.
The evil eye refers to the sphincter.
Oh my God.
Karma, all the way to bad juju when you have a big old evil eye just looking upon you.
I'm gonna clip this. Like, I'm sending this shit to HR, bro. Like, this is all.
Oh, he's being harassed.
I'm being microly aggressed by other black people, bro. Like,
it's been Eddy,
just like
it's been Josh, it's been Foreign, and look, if you see yourself over weighting how important it is to simply get girls without any kind of further work in your life to actually see what the actual causes of problems in your life are, it may be you that's waving a red flag. But in the same vein, if if you're an actor who's only getting respect from the production company as a way for them to like clout chase their progressive, you might be seeing a red flag. It's been Waving the Red Flag podcast. It's been all of us. Subscribe, turn the bell on, hop on Patreon if you want to have live convos with us, if you want to get bonus content. We'll see you next week. You know what I'm saying?
Man, we forgot to tell people what Alvin was doing.
Oh, we did forget to tell people what Alvin was doing. What's he been up to? Have you spoken to him?
I did. Alvin is actually in Tanzania providing a 3-day work seminar on child labor and to make it both ethically and environmentally friendly.
I see.
I like how you let them make.
We gotta roll back those child labor laws. Get the kids to work. You know what I mean? We gotta end child unemployment. That's what Alvin's working on right now. Most kids don't have. Look, did you know that 85% of children on Earth don't have a job?
That is
crazy.
Don't have a job.
Alvin's working to solve that.
Unemployed Oscars.
The unemployment rates in the prepubescent are just skyrocketing. And Alvin is away currently solving that problem.
They pop out the womb with no jobs. It's
crazy.
Despicable. It's despicable.
Just leeching off the system, straight on welfare.
Literally sucking off tits. Like literally sucking on the tit of the government.
AB said we can't have that. We got to get these kids to work. They making microchips. You teach them how to program and stuff. They drop shipping and shit.
They using the placenta to thread.
He's got like a mining.
Using the placenta
on social media to getting them clicks up.
Oh yeah. Oh man. TikTok babies. Well, all right, everybody. We'll see y'all next week. Much appreciated. Peace, 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 peace.
I'm wearing a red shirt. I just realized that.
Oh yeah, that's going in the thumbnail. All right.
It's a red flag.